The tense moment in a quiet Belgian town unfolded on August 3rd, 2024, as police officers closed in on a man who'd evaded capture not once, but twice. Mohamed-Amine Dardour, one of Europe's most wanted, was cornered in Sint-Kathelijne-Waver, under the influence of narcotics and clutching a fake ID. His life on the run had been a whirlwind of violence, from the brutal forest hit in 2020 to his daring escape from a Spanish prison just months earlier. Now, with heavily armoured officers surrounding him, the question loomed: would this finally be the end of his criminal reign? Mohamed-Amine Dardour, a name that now sends chills down the spine of many, began his journey in Brussels, a city known for its rich history and vibrant culture. But for Dardour, the city became a playground for his early criminal activities. Born and raised in the Belgian capital, he was no stranger to the streets, where he quickly found himself involved in petty crimes. It wasn't long before these minor infractions escalated, and Dardour's path took a darker turn. By the time he was in his late teens, Dardour had already established himself with certain circles, rubbing shoulders with individuals who were far more dangerous in the criminal underworld. His early activities included theft, trafficking, and association with known criminals. But, as is often the case with those who seek a life of crime, the thrill of small-time offences wasn't enough for Dardour. He craved more power, more control, and unfortunately, more violence. In July 2020, when Dardour was just 19 years old, he became involved in an event that would solidify his name as one of the most dangerous people: the forest shooting. This was no ordinary altercation. It was a brutal attack that left one man dead and two others seriously injured. The weapon of choice: a machine pistol, a weapon designed for sheer destruction. Police swarmed the area, and the media was quick to label the incident as one of the most violent in recent memory. Dardour, along with his accomplice Youssef Jeddi, made the calculated decision to surrender to authorities shortly after the hit. It was a move that surprised many, but perhaps it was a strategic play to avoid a more severe manhunt. Despite turning themselves in, the severity of their crimes couldn't be understated. By 2022, Mohamed-Amine Dardour was facing the full forces of the Belgian justice system. The charges against him were severe attack and attempted attack, crimes that could see him spend the rest of his life behind bars. But Dardour wasn't ready to face the consequences of his actions. Instead, he made a bold and brazen move that would shock everyone involved in his case. He managed to cut off his ankle bracelet, the very device meant to monitor his every move. This was a carefully planned escape that showed just how desperate he was to avoid trial. Once the bracelet was cut off, Dardour disappeared without a trace, leaving law enforcement scrambling to locate him. His escape was a significant blow to the Belgian justice system, raising serious questions about the effectiveness of their monitoring procedures. If a man as dangerous as Dardour could simply slip away, what did that say about their ability to keep other high-risk criminals under control? And it wasn't just Dardour who vanished into thin air. Youssef Jeddi, his partner in crime, also managed to escape. The two of them, who'd once walked into police station to turn themselves in, were now on the run, fugitives from justice. Their simultaneous disappearances only added to the authorities' frustration and fear, knowing that two men with a history of extreme violence were now unaccounted for. The Belgian police knew they had to act fast. The escape of Dardour and Jeddi was not just a national issue, it had the potential to become a European crisis. In response, the federal police formed a specialized unit known as the Fugitive Active Search Team, or FAST, FAST. It was a group of highly trained officers whose sole mission was to track down and apprehend fugitives like Dardour. They deployed every resource at their disposal, from surveillance technology to intelligence gathering, to find the men who managed to slip through the cracks. The hunt for Dardour and Jeddi wasn't confined to Belgium. Recognizing the possibility that they could have fled the country, Belgian authorities reached out to their counterparts across Europe. The collaboration between Belgian and Spanish law enforcement was particularly crucial. Spain, with its sprawling coastlines and numerous cities, was seen as a likely hiding place for the fugitives. When the Belgian and Spanish authorities finally closed in on Mohamed-Amine Dardour in March 2024, it felt like the end of a long and exhausting chase. Dardour, alongside his accomplice Youssef Jeddi, had been on the run for nearly 2 years, living as fugitives under the brazen escape from Belgian law enforcement in 2022. The tension was high as the officers prepared to make their move in Malaga, Spain, a city known for its sunny beaches and vibrant nightlife. But now, the unexpected hideout of two of Europe's most wanted men. The authorities knew they couldn't afford any mistakes. Dardour and Jedi were dangerous, unpredictable, and had already proven their ability to evade capture. The raid took place in a small, unassuming apartment complex on the outskirts of Malaga. The location had been carefully chosen by the fugitives, far from the tourist hotspots. It was a place where they could blend in and avoid drawing attention. But the police were one step ahead. Acting on intelligence gathered over months, they moved in swiftly, surrounding the building before the fugitives could even realize what was happening. The scene inside the apartment was a stark contrast to the sunny, carefree atmosphere outside. Dardour and Jedi were found in a small, dimly lit room surrounded by the remnants of their desperate attempts to stay hidden. Fake IDs, untraceable cell phones, and a stash of cash. Then, in a blur of movement, the officers moved in, subduing both men before they had a chance to resist. It was a victory for law enforcement, and a defeat for Dardour and his ally. But the relief was short-lived. On June 17, 2024, just a few months after his arrest, Dardour pulled off yet another daring escape. This time, it was from a high-security detention facility, a place designed to hold the most dangerous criminals. The details of how he managed to break free remain shrouded in mystery. How could this man, who'd already eluded capture once, manage to do it again? Dardour's methods were as audacious as they were clever. Some reports suggest he may have used a combination of bribery and manipulation, exploiting weaknesses in the system to create an opportunity for his escape. Others speculate that he had outside help, an accomplice or network that assisted him in slipping through the cracks. Whatever the case, the fact that he was able to evade capture once more was a serious blow to the authorities. It was an embarrassment for the Belgian police that was already reeling from his previous escape and were now under immense pressure to bring him back into custody. On August 2024, Mohamed-Amine Dardour had been on the run for months, living a life of constant evasion and fear. His daring escapes and the chaos he left in his wake had made him one of Europe's most notorious fugitives. But as with all criminals who push their luck too far, his time was about to run out. On August 3, 2024, the frustrated authorities finally caught a break. Dardour was spotted in Sint-Kathelijne-Waver, a small town not far from Brussels. It wasn't a grand cinematic chase that led to his capture, but rather the result of persistent police work and sheer luck. Officers from the Boducap police zone were conducting routine surveillance when they noticed a suspicious individual who matched Dardour's description. The man was trying to keep a low profile, but his attempts at blending in were futile. He was already on every officer's radar. The police moved quickly, coordinating with the Zen Valley police zone to ensure that they had enough manpower to apprehend him without incident. As they closed in, Dardour realized the game was up. There was no escape this time. When the officers approached him, he was clearly under the influence of narcotics, his movements sluggish and his speech incoherent. It was clear that the months of running had taken a toll on him. In a final act of desperation, Dardour produced a fake ID, hoping to bluff his way out of the situation. But the police were well prepared. They knew exactly who they were dealing with. The ID was quickly dismissed and Dardour was arrested on the spot. This was the man who had managed to escape twice, and now he was finally in custody. The immediate consequence of his arrest was his transfer to Mechelen, where he was brought before the examination magistrate. The authorities wasted no time in ensuring that he was securely detained, with no room for another escape. But Dardour's troubles didn't end with his arrest. As soon as he was in custody, the Antwerp public prosecutor initiated a new investigation, adding a fresh set of charges to his already lengthy rap sheet. This time, Dardour was charged with possession of prohibited weapons and ammunition, serious offences that carried significant penalties. The details of the investigation revealed the extent of his criminal activities. The weapons found in his possession weren't just any firearms, they were high-caliber military-grade weapons designed for maximum damage. The arsenal included assault rifles, handguns, and an alarming amount of ammunition, all of which posed a grave danger to public safety. He will have to stand trial for this later this year. What are your thoughts on Mohamed-Amine Dardour's story? Let us know in the comments below. If you like our content, don't forget to check out the channel. We've got many more stories from the underworld to share with you. We'll see you in the next one.